Welcome to AM Best Audio.
In today's complex insurance environment, the ability to identify and manage risk is more than a technical exercise. It's a strategic imperative. For insurers, that often means working closely with brokers who not only understand the market, but also connect their clients with skilled service providers, including actuaries. I'm John Weber for Best Review Magazine. I'm speaking today with Aaron Hillebrandt, Principal and Consulting Actuary at Pinnacle Actuarial Resources, who, among other things, has recently been inducted into the Illinois State University College of Arts Sciences Hall of Fame. Aaron, first and foremost, congratulations on a very well-deserved honor there.
Thank you, John. I appreciate that very much.
So let's get into our conversation here. Why are brokers so important in the property and casualty space these days, Aaron?
Well, brokers do play a vital role in that insurance ecosystem. They represent their clients' best interests. They help them secure insurance coverage that is best fit for their situation. And they're, in some respect, a quarterback that works with insurance service providers, which probably include underwriters, TPAs, loss control firms, safety consultants, attorneys, and actuaries, of course. So brokers will understand the role that each one of those providers plays and helps make their clients better by giving them what they need to make informed business decisions about risk financing, risk mitigation. So the really effective brokers out there understand that and work to establish relationships with the actuaries and other service providers to help us help them, and we can kind of act as a force multiplier for the brokers as well.
Why is that relationship between brokers and service providers so important?
Well, I mean, oftentimes brokers are preparing some of the data that we rely on, so they may be compiling a client's premium loss exposure data for historical years so that we can analyze it. And beyond just the quantitative aspect of compiling the data, brokers, because of the relationship they have with their clients, they oftentimes can give us some important context about what's happening with that client, changes in operations, external circumstances that might be impacting the client's operations. So they can give us some more insight into the data that we're seeing and help us to interpret that. So, that context can be really helpful when we're going through the analysis, because we might otherwise not have that detail. So in my view, brokers are an essential piece of the puzzle. They're great business partners for their clients and to help us be effective service providers as well.
Aaron, are there certain keys to a good provider and broker relationship?
There definitely are. So communication is always going to be at the heart of that type of relationship being effective. So brokers are working in the best interest of their clients, and the communication goes both ways. So if we're working on an analysis for that broker's client, it's important for us to keep them in the loop in terms of what the status is of that, or if there's anything else that we might need from them. At the end of the day, no one likes surprises, and sometimes we as actuaries do have to report some bad news. For example, maybe loss ratios are deteriorating for a client, or if perhaps a service provider isn't fully communicating what can be done in terms of, for example, capital deployment. There was a situation we had recently where a broker came to us with a company whose existing service provider maybe hadn't looked at that very deeply. And we were able to show that, that company actually had some excessive loss reserve liabilities, and it essentially had some idle capital. So we were able to develop a solution for that to help them redeploy some of that capital and help communicate that, to the client and to the broker. But it all comes back to communication at the end of the day. Everyone's got to be aware of those nuances and, communicate back and forth regarding what the status is of the initiative being worked on and what the results look like. And that open line of communication is really critical to that relationship being effective.
What makes the captive insurance industry such a good fit with broker services?
Well, I mean, brokers are important for, any type of insurance company. captive or otherwise. But captives are, it's a unique sector. It's dynamic, it's exciting. There's a lot of new things happening. So it's a very entrepreneurial type of niche of the insurance market. So, those companies are looking for, some sort of captive insurance company solution to their insurance situation. They may not have, actuaries on hand or other independent service providers that can help counsel them through that feasibility process for a captive insurance company and ongoing through the captive's life cycle. So it is really important to have those relationships, and oftentimes, going back to the broker as kind of the quarterback in a lot of those relationships. If they have, for example, an actuarial firm or another type of service provider on hand that they have a relationship with already, they can kind of offer more services to their client, and it can give them a real competitive advantage because obviously they operate in a competitive space themselves. So if they have those service providers behind them already, that can really help them in a lot of ways. And I think we are kind of trending in that direction. We are seeing as data becomes more prevalent and we have more that we can point to and talk about, there is more communication happening between the actuaries and the brokers, and I think that's a good development.
Aaron, thanks so much for taking the time to speak with us. And once again, congratulations on your induction into the Illinois State University Hall of Fame.
Thank you very much. It's been great joining you today.
That was Aaron Hillebrandt, Principal and Consulting Actuary at Pinnacle Actuarial Resources. And I'm John Weber for Best Review Magazine.
Looking to get the full attention of the insurance industry? We have the platforms that will do just that. Whether it be AM Best TV, AM Best Audio, Best Review Magazine, or Best Day. Find out more by calling AM Best Advertising Sales at 908-439-2200, extension 5399, and have a great day.